What's up, everyone? Season 13 of Apex is almost here, so let's dive into the patch notes. We're going to be going through this relatively quick. I'm not going to cover everything in here, but I'm going to cover all the things that I think are important. So, obviously, everyone knows the new castle is the new legend. He's got some pretty interesting abilities. His passive is he can drag allies as you revive and protect them with your revive shield. So your knockdown shield, I'm assuming, is going to be what protects you while you're dragging your teammates, and you can res them while you're dragging them. Pretty cool. The next one is a throwable drone that creates a moving wall. It's kind of like a Gibby bubble, but it's just one wall and it can move. It reminds me of the old Lifeline drone, the healing, like with the res drone. Anyways, and then the last one is his ultimate, which he leaps into the air, slams down. Most of you have already seen this if you watched the trailer. But moving on, they got a little map update to Storm Point, where this big Goliath creature got killed, and it's a new POI. It looks pretty interesting. We'll have to see how it works out. The maps for Season 13 are going to be Storm Point, Olympus, and World's Edge. They're also getting rid of the 2-hour rotation block, which is great because some people only get on for an hour or so, and they get stuck playing something like Storm Point the whole time, and that's no fun. Next up is Ranked. There's a lot of changes in Ranked. I'm not going to dive into that, but if you guys want to, you can come to EA's website and kind of go through this if you'd like to. All right, let's get into the balance changes. So the Fortified Legends, which is Caustic and Gibby, Fortified no longer reduces the headshot damage. So body shots will still get their 10% reduction in damage, but not to headshots. So headshots will still be full strength, which is pretty big. It's kind of like a buff to every gun against one of these characters if you hit headshots. Crafting rotation, obviously the Flatline and Longbow are coming out, and the Rampage and 301 are going in. The gold weapons for this season are the EVA 8, the Bocek, the Flatline, the P20, and the Spitfire. The helmet buff is pretty interesting. Blue helmet headshot damage reduction is increased from 40% to 50%, and then the purples from 50 to 65. So having a purple helmet or a gold helmet now is actually pretty huge. The Kraber received a little bit of a nerf. The headshot multiplier is down from 3 to 2 times, and the base damage is down from 145 to 140. Honestly, I feel like this kind of makes it even more viable to run like something like the Sentinel now. I think the Sentinel is still a great sniper. All right, next up is the Rampage, which they increased the reload time from 2.6 to 3.1, and they slightly increased the handling times. So it's not going to be as good as it used to be, thankfully. So it looks like they've nerfed pretty much all of the LMGs in the game, from reload times, handling times, and damage, and all that stuff. They've all been nerfed a little bit. On the Havoc, they improved the recoil at the start of the pattern, which is great because I can't shoot anything with that gun, and maybe now it'll actually hit something. Dual shell's been removed. Mozambique and the Peacekeeper both got a little bit of a buff to the limb damage, that is. So the max damage is still the same. You're still going to not be able to one-shot someone on the ground. It'll still hit for 99s, but at least now you won't be hitting 8s. It'll hit for 10 whenever you hit someone in the leg. The care package weapons, the Spitfire's back in floor loot, and the Massive's back into the crate. Spitfire got a little bit of a nerf, which is good because it's obviously coming out of the care package back to ground loot, so as to be expected. So the Mastiff obviously is getting a little bit of a buff because it's going into the care package. It's not going to be anything too crazy, but it's still going to be relatively strong. I think it'll be stronger than the Peacekeeper was whenever it was in the care package. Cells and syringes, they lowered the spawn rates for those by about 18%. Next up is Rampart. It looks like she got a little bit of a buff to her ultimate and to her walls. And overall, I think she's going to be pretty strong this season. We'll just have to see if anybody actually plays her now. Next up is Valkyrie. Now, I don't know why they came up with this nerf, but now you won't be able to spin while you're redeploying with her ultimate anymore. Which, I mean, I guess if they're going to nerf her, that's probably the best way to nerf her because everything else about her is pretty balanced in my opinion. Out of bounds. Now, this right here is highly controversial in my opinion. So out of bounds, I agree with what they did here, but the problem is there's a lot of places on the map that you can get stuck, and or if you fly and you don't know something's out of bounds, then it'll give you that timer. And not having the ability, sometimes the game will force you to go into a wall and you can't get out without using a grapple or a jump pad or something like that. And this is going to make it to where if you get stuck in a bad spot, well, you're pretty much just going to time out and die, and no one's going to be able to get your banner. Hopefully they'll implement something that will, if you die out of bounds, it'll put your box somewhere that your teammates can get it, kind of like whenever you fall off the map. So we'll see if they do that in the future. But for right now, there's probably going to be some issues with this right here, but we'll have to see. All right, and the last on this section is World's Edge, where they redesigned the windows at Lava Siphon Tower to focus sightlines. They added some additional cover to the Siphon's lava pit, and the gondola loot was tweaked a little bit. They always adjust loot pools a little bit, but sometimes it ruins the POI, sometimes it makes it better. We'll have to see. And then I don't play arenas personally, but they changed a few things in here as far as like how much the purchase cost is. You can go through that if you like, but I won't be going into it in this video. Okay, so on to the bug fixes. This one right here is actually pretty important, and that is a fix for players inside of Bangalore smokes unintentionally getting aim assists on targets outside of the smoke. And this has been kind of an issue, is where you'll get beamed through the smoke and you don't know how you get beamed through the smoke when they can't even see you, and that's because sometimes they can see you a little bit, but you can't see them and they're getting aim assist. So hopefully this is a good fix. And most of these other bug fixes aren't really all that crazy, but you can kind of look through them if you'd like to. This one's pretty interesting, where they fixed issues where finishers are not counted as damage towards challenges. So that's kind of cool. It helps people get through their battle pass a little quicker. Most of these bug fixes aren't all that important, but you can read through them if you'd like to. There is a bug right now with Horizon that if you switch attachments while taking her grav lift, that you no longer get any bloom on your guns when taking zip lines, jump pads, and anything like that. I wish they would fix that, but instead they fixed for cases when Horizon's ultimate disappears if the player opens the door next to it. They are introducing a new custom match system, which is going to replace the old private match system. I don't know if it's going to be open to everyone or if it's going to be a select group of people, but we'll just have to wait and see when the season comes out. That would be really cool if they let us have our own private matches, but I don't know, we'll see. We can come over here to the battle pass and take a quick look at what they have to offer in here. Hope you guys enjoyed the video. Don't forget to like and subscribe if you want, and we'll see you on the battlefield. All right, later.